I'm excited to announce that the Rockstar Games classic, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, is in development for Quest 2. This new version of what I think is one of the greatest games ever made will offer players an entirely new way to experience this iconic open world in virtual reality.
That's it, Mark. I'm moving to the Metaverse.
So as you guys see, you heard it from Mark Zuckerberg himself, Grand Theft Auto is coming to the Metaverse. Also, I have some information on Call of Duty, Candy Crush, and several others coming to the Metaverse as well. What does this mean? It means that it's incredibly good for crypto. Now, I'm also going to talk about in this video, where are we going in 2022? When are we going to see our leg up? What is happening with this cycle? I have a theory and I have some actual facts of what's actually happening and why we're having this dip instead of slowly seeing our way up. And I'm going to show you guys some cool stuff. So stay tuned. Today is January 25th, 2021 or 2022. I apologize. I'm still getting used to the year, but I'm going to talk about some really cool stuff in this video. So stay tuned. So what I'm going to show you guys is a couple of really cool things. So let me just pull this stuff up. Give me 1 second. Here we go. So can you guys see my screen? Perfect. So you see this right here where it says Microsoft to buy Activision Blizzard in all cash deal. So some of the games they have are obviously Call of Duty. And just so you see here, they're spending $75 billion, as you see. So it says it right here as well, $75 billion. I've seen a couple other price ranges, just under 70, whatever the case may be. But point is, this is going to be huge for crypto and the metaverse. Let's just take a look at a couple other games they have. World of Warcraft, Call of Duty, Candy Crush, and several others as well. So I do know that this is going to be massive because we're not just getting these games, we're getting their audiences to crypto. That means we're going to have many more users in the crypto world, meaning more money coming in, more adoption, which is going to be huge. But this is just one thing that I wanted to talk about, letting you guys know the massive adoption that's about to happen in gaming. Also, you have companies like Wells Fargo and Bank of America and a few other banks that are going to be giving interest in crypto, which is going to bring hundreds of millions of new users into the crypto world, primarily because of the interest they're going to be getting. Also, the adoption from these third world countries, between the gaming and the banks and these third world countries and all these other companies. Walmart is about to make their own metaverse, or at least build their own virtual stores in the metaverse. So it's about to get crazy. The massive adoption that's happening over the past year is absolutely insane. And where crypto is going to go no matter what is about to be absolutely insane. So even if you do see short-term dips, don't be nervous because it's about to go up. So let me show you guys something cool. So as you guys will see here, if we just look, right, if we look at, let's just say the 3 months, things look bad, right? It looks like, oh my gosh, we're crashing, the end of the world, right? But if we just take a look at overall, this is where we're at, all the way over here, right? We have a support. As you see right here, you see the support, how it hasn't gone below here. So as you'll see here, we have a good support. But if you look at where we were not too long ago, 2013, we have had a massive run up, and every year crypto seems to be gaining momentum overall. But what I want to show you guys is something interesting. Yeah, it looks bad, right? But in reality, let's just look at the past day. We did bounce back up. This is not what a bear market would look like. This right here is due to, well, I'll show you. At least let's just look at the past month. This crash right here, you see all of this? So let's just take a look. When did this crash happen, right? So let's see. We're going to talk about the past 7-day crash, not the month. I apologize. So you see this right here, this crash. This is what I'm trying to focus on. What does that say? 1/2/22. That means this month, January 20th, okay, 22. It's about how many days ago? If today's the 25th, it's about 5 days ago. Let's look at something really interesting, guys. What does this say to you? So right here, Russia proposes ban on use and mining of cryptos. Right here, it's all here. What does this say though? 5 days ago, 5 days ago, 5 days ago, 5 days ago. So the reason that we had this crash over the past week or so, 5 days ago, is primarily because Russia banned crypto. But this happens every time China bans crypto, guys. This is the stuff that nobody's really talking about. Well, there's some people who talk about this, but I do have something that nobody's talking about that I have an idea on, and we're going to get to that in a second. A point being, this dip is not because of a fundamental reason. This isn't like, United States is about to ban crypto, or the adoption is not happening or whatever. This has nothing to do with the fundamentals of cryptocurrency. What this primarily has to do with is FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So with Russia banning crypto, it's a big country, it's a big deal. So yes, that causes fear in the market. It's the same thing as if Russia invaded Ukraine. There would be big fear in the market. Oh my gosh, we're going to have to go to war. If China invades Taiwan, we may have to go to war. It's going to crash the markets. So this isn't a fundamental reason. This is no reason to be scared. What this is a buying opportunity. And if you've been listening to me, I've been telling you guys to buy. Technically, yes, we were off about it blowing up in December, but I'm truly grateful for it because that means you get to keep stacking up over these next couple months because this isn't the top. That was not the top at $69,000. If you look at, let's just say, where were we? Right up here, $69,000. If you look at the top, that was not the top for this cycle. Normally, cycles would usually end in late December or January. We have not reached the top yet, in my opinion. Nobody knows for sure, but the things that I'm looking at, the information I'm getting, different things. Like if we just look at the past year, this is something I don't see anybody talking about. Let's just look at the past year, okay? So let's see, right where we were a year ago, 125. We're at about 32,000. Right now we're at about 36,000, okay? So we're a little bit above where we were exactly a year ago, but we're still right in the same area, right? If my theory is correct and we do start going up by the end of January, like I've been telling everybody, I've been saying, I think by middle to end of January, more likely the end of January, obviously, we're going to end up seeing some kind of steady rise on the way up, unless we have some crazy news like Russia banning crypto or Russia invading Ukraine or China invading Taiwan or just something big that's going to cause FUD. But again, it's not fundamentals. But what I think is going to happen is that we're in a new cycle, and that's why we haven't broke out in December or January like you traditionally would after every 4 years. So in reality, if you just say that maybe we're starting to follow a new cycle and you have things like Ethereum 2.0 possibly coming out in March, you have some other major events happening in March and April, we may end up starting to pop up at the very end of January, have a nice good run up in February, maybe a nice dip at the end of February or mid-February, whatever it is, into March, maybe, maybe not. And then what I might think might happen is we may have some kind of dip, like I said, sometime late February, mid-February into March or somewhere around that time, maybe in early March, whatever it is, before we have another leg up. We may end up having this leg up the end of January into February, whatever it is. And then what happens is we end up, everybody thinks everything's over, but then boom, March or maybe even sometime early April, everything just starts absolutely exploding. Hell, maybe we may even go into May. If we just look at the analytics from last year, what happened? You see how we had a big leg up right here, right? 57,000, what happened? And this is what I'm thinking may happen. We may have a big leg up into February, and then look, we have a big crash. Everybody thinks, oh my gosh, the world is falling, the crypto is about to die. But what happened after? It ended up going higher. People may think, oh, that's it. And then what happened? It ended up going even higher. So this is what I think is going to happen again. We're going to have a nice leg up, probably end of January into February, a real good rise, maybe $60,000 to $80,000, and then we may have a nice fat dip before we end up really having the run up. And I think that this is possibly going to be very historic. What may happen, the gains that we may get in March or maybe early mid-April, whatever it is, maybe into May. If we're looking at the analytics right here, if you look right here, this actually ran, what is that date? 5/7, and that's when we started seeing a really crazy dip. So right until about 5/7, 5/8, we were still, all of this is like we had an average basically. We had support up here, right? And then that's when it crashed. So if we're seeing something similar to last year, we may end up going into May. I'm thinking probably late March, maybe early mid-April, possibly May if we're following a new cycle. And this new cycle has to do with, what's actually happening in the markets and what a new cycle that's being adopted instead of we end in December or January. Maybe we're going to start ending in March, April, or May. Maybe that's going to be the new cycle. Somewhere around that 3-month timeline is when it's going to end and we're all going to have a big crash. You know what I mean? The reason that I think probably by April instead of May could go into May, but the reason why I think it probably won't extend much later than April is because there's some reports that are happening to the housing market that they have not reported on yet from this past year. And when these reports get out, it's going to show that the housing market is very, very bad. And it's basically built up on false promises. And without going too deep into the housing market, That right there, just that crashing could crash the stock market, could crash the crypto market, actually will. Crypto market is very volatile, very skittish, so any news could really mess with it, especially tanking markets. So in reality, this is something I'm expecting. I'm expecting these dips. As you see here, on the way up, we had really big dips. You know what I mean? Like, this is not like little dips that you're getting. So everybody's like scared. I think that that's basically where we're at. We're right where we need to be, and we should be going up any day now. If you guys look at the crypto market, if you just see like the past week, yeah, it looks like terrible. Honestly, even if you go into some of the other coins and we just go into market and we just see like what other coins do we have here, you know, we have a lot of coins here, and a lot of them are not necessarily doing the best right now. But in reality, let's see, that's actually not where I want it to be. Hold on. Here we go. So as you'll see here, we have a lot of different coins. A lot of them aren't really doing well. As you see, there's a lot of red. But in reality, what I think is going to happen is that this is just probably the last real big buying opportunity. I did think that before, maybe at the very end of November into December. I really thought things were going to explode in December, but so did a ton of other huge, super wealthy, crypto fanatic people with analytic teams and everything. Like lots of people in the crypto space that either are billionaires, 100 millionaires, or have whole teams on this where we're expecting it as well sometime in December, and it just didn't happen. But I really am still very confident that sometime by the end of January, early February, we should start seeing a leg up. And that's when things could really start changing for the crypto market. And this really could be our last great buying opportunity. I'm not even a little bit concerned with this red, because if this was going to be bad, we wouldn't have Walmart and Microsoft and all of these companies getting into the metaverse, Facebook and all this. We wouldn't have the massive adoption of what XRP is doing with banks around the world. And when that court case is over, we have so much to look forward to with that, from it being unbanned, that's going to cause a pump, being added back to all the exchanges, that's going to cause a pump, all these banks starting to adopt it, that's going to cause a pump, it going public, that's going to cause a pump. XRP is going to shoot to the absolute moon. If I was you, I would definitely go buy some XRP. But point being, guys, we have so much opportunity. We're so early. If you just look at the math on what I just showed you, you can go back and watch it. 5 days ago, Russia bans talks about a ban with crypto, and the market crashes. Every time the market crashes, I always get a bunch of calls from people, messages on Facebook, people calling me, hey, what do you think, this and that? And people don't understand the fundamentals. They're not looking at it from this standpoint. And when you're understanding it from a fundamental standpoint, you're able to understand why things are happening, and should you get out of the market, or is this a buying opportunity? So I just wanted to share this stuff with you guys so you guys can get an understanding of what's happening with crypto right now, where we're going as far as if we're going to keep crashing, in my opinion. And that's basically it, guys. I do think that these timelines should add up, whether we do start popping up at the end of January, early May, or no, early March. I apologize, the next month. So whether we start popping up the end of this month in January or start popping up the beginning of February, either way, I don't care. It's right around that time frame, I think. Also, I think sometime in March or maybe even early April, we have some massive, absolutely massive explosions. The very latest, I would probably say May. But sometime within that time frame as well, I do think that we're going to have a run up, but I'm still confident in March, maybe early April, mid-April, somewhere around there, at the very latest May. But yeah, I think that we are facing a new market cycle. I think that if we look at what happened last year, we may end up, and again, we shouldn't really be having a market cycle that extends this long in reality, just if we're looking at historical data, but we have new adoption, a new amount of users, new amounts of money coming in. This isn't the same market that we've had over these past 10, 12 years. So I want you guys to really keep that in mind and try to understand this on a more fundamental level, other than just watching a YouTube video or reading an article. Go back and actually look at the data. Why is this happening? Has this happened before? What can I do? What shouldn't I do? So that's all for this video, guys. I just wanted to make this video so I can kind of walk you through some of this stuff. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please subscribe or like it at least. Leave a comment. Let me know that you liked that I went in depth and went through everything, made this video for you guys. Share the video. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you're subscribed, thank you. I appreciate it. And again, do me a favor, guys, like and comment so it can get that engagement. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.